Hello guys, so today we will learn how to implement pagination in our React app. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first what we do is we'll do all the necessary imports wherever we require. So we will import React, and we will also need use state to store the data, and also use effect to call the API, and we'll import all of these from our React, right? Let me minimize this one a bit. Okay, now for also we need Axios for making the API request. So this is the most popular package we have for making the API request from our React app. Okay, so these are the imports we have. Okay, and so here we are implementing pagination. So let me give the heading here, React pagination. Right, now it looks a bit good. Yeah, so let me first tell you the steps we are going to follow to achieve pagination. So let me write down the steps here. So first step, what we do is we will let's say you are getting some records, like the total number of records you are getting, maybe 100 or 200 or 500. Okay, so first we need to find out the number of pages we would have. So to find the pages, what we do is we can do a simple calculation that we can count the total number of records, and we will divide it by the total number of pages, a total number of items we want to show on a particular page, right? So first we need to calculate the total number of pages. So that will be total items divided by items per page. Okay, then in the second step, once we got the total number of items, we will calculate the index of last item. So that would be our current page into to-dos, not to-dos, we can say right now items per page, right? So let's say our current page is third, right, and we are showing 10 items on each page. So the last index of the item is 30, right? On the third step, we need to calculate the index of first item. So this we can simply find by subtracting the items per page from index of last item minus item on per page, right? So let's say index of last item is 30 that we have calculated here. Now we need to have items per page. So right now for our case we are taking 10. So let's say these are 10, so the index of the first element would be 20, right? And after calculating both these, what we will do is we will slice out the items, or we can say subarray, between the first index and last index, right? Okay, so we will understand these steps much better as we go on coding. So yeah, let's start. So first step is we need to calculate the total number of pages. So for that we need to have some records. Okay, so for getting the records, for now we are using this placeholder API where we have list of to-dos, and each to-do item has some user ID, some ID or title, and its status, right? So we will be using this to-do API, and we'll get all the to-dos first. Okay, so let me first call the API. So for calling the API, we will use effect hook. So this hook will help us in getting in like running the API request. So and also in this we need to pass this empty array. So right now we are passing this because we only want our we only want our use effect to run when our component gets mounted on the DOM. So this will only run once when our component is mounted on DOM, right? So let's call the API. So let's use this Axios package for that, and as this is a get request, so we will be using the get method, and then we'll pass this API as this Axios.get will return a promise. So we need to handle that promise in the then block. So we'll get some response from this API. So what we will do is, so we will set this response. So for let's say we'll have some state to store the result. So we'll name it to-dos, and it's set to-dos. So we will create a use state. So initially it will be an empty array. Okay, so what we will do here is we will set to-dos to this response data, what we are getting from the response, right? So this much we have done. So this from this request, what we are doing is we are making a get request to this URL, and this URL will return us these results, and we are storing these results in this to-dos, right? So let me also display these to-do items. So let me take some div. Okay, and whenever we want to loop through the array, so for that we use map. So let's do to-dos dot map, and it will run for each to-do item. So we will get to-do, and here what we will do is we need to pass, let's say I'll take a p tag, and in the p tag I'll display to-do dot title. right? And here I'll close the p tag. So let me save it. Let's see if we get something or not. So let me refresh it. Yeah, and also don't forget to add whenever we are using map, so don't forget to add the key to the element. So yeah, so now we can see all the to-dos which we are getting in the API, right? Okay, so we have called the API and we got the to-dos, and we have set that those to-dos in the to-do state, and now we are mapping through that state, right? So this much we have achieved. Now what we need to do is, now let's go to our first step, right? So first we need to calculate the total number of pages, right? So let me calculate total number of pages. So that would be, what I do is I will do math.ceil, so it will always return the upper bound value. Let's say if I'm getting 6.6, so it will return 7 to us, right? So here I need to pass the to-dos dot length, so it will give the length of the items we have in the to-do state, and we will divide it with to-dos per page, right? So that's what we have discussed above here. So we will divide those to-dos. So right now it is throwing error because we have not defined any to-dos per page. So let's create another state which is to-dos per page, and set to-dos per page, right? So right now let's say for our case we'll take 10, and you can change this accordingly as per your use cases. Okay, so right now we only want 10 to-dos on a page, right? So let's say, let me console it if we are getting the total number of pages or not. Yeah, let's go to the console. Yeah, so now we can see 20 pages, right? So the total number of to-dos we are getting are 200, and the to-dos we want to show on a particular page are 10. So this gives us 20, right? So till now we are good. Let's move to the next step. So next step we will, in the next step we have to calculate the index of last item, right? So let's calculate const index of last to do, so which is current page into the to-dos per page, okay? And for index, and also we need to calculate the index of first to do. So that is, we need to subtract total number of to-dos per page from index of last to do minus to-dos per page, right? Now we don't have any current page, so we will also have to create another state for it. So let's say current page, and set current page, which T C should be capital, and initially by default our current page should be 1, right? Okay, so yeah, so we have completed step 1, step 2, step 3. Now what we need to do is slice out the items from the slice out the items in from the array between the indexes we have. Okay, so these are the items which we want to display. So let's say we will name it show to dos, so which is we are getting 200 to dos in to dos, right? From the API we are getting 200 to dos, so we'll store them in the to dos, and then we will slice out the to dos from first index, okay, from this index to this index, right? So, and one more thing we need to keep in mind here is that it will always will ignore the last index. Okay, so the slice item will always ignore the last index, right? So if we have like this is 20, so it will display on the only the items till 90, right? So these are the show to dos. So let me check if we are able to show the to dos here. Are we getting? Yeah. So these are the number of to dos we will get for the page 1, and now if I change page 2, yeah, these are changing. If I change page 3, yeah, okay, so this much we have achieved till now, right? So now we are able to see the to dos, and we are able to see only 10 to dos per page, right? Now let's move one step further. So what we do is, let's say we will create 2 buttons, right? So I'll say we will have span for let's take p tag. So this is the previous button, so on click of which we will go to the previous page, and this is the next button, so on click of which we will go to the next page, right? Okay, so we will have these 2 buttons. So let me take this span only, so these both the buttons can be aligned in the same line. Okay, so span, and this is also span, right? Oh no, it's span. Okay, now what we do is okay, now we have span. So for clicking on these buttons we need some action handler, right? This event handler. So we will add an event handler here as let's say on click, so we will do handle previous, and same like this we will add in the next button also. So we will name it, we will name it next. Okay, so let me create these 2 functions here. So we will remove this console from here. So let's handle prev, so we need to handle previous first. So what we will do here, so we need to handle a case where like if we are on the first page only, right? So we do not want let the user to go back go back to the previous one. Like we do not want the user to go back to 0 page because we don't have one, right? So we will check here, we will do if current page, okay, is not equals to 1, right? So for that case we will set the current page to current page minus 1, right? So whenever we click on the previous button, if our current page is not 1, So till then we will just do the decrement, right? So we will go back to the previous and previous and previous pages till we get the page number 1, right? Same as this, we'll also create a handle next. So here what we will do, we will just increment the page number, right? So here if page number is not equals to the total number of pages we have, right? Total number of pages, because the last page is stored in this value, right? So we will just be incrementing the page number, right? So let's see if we can. So right now we won't be able to go back because we are on the page 1, but if I click on next, we can go to the next, and we can also go to the previous, right? Let me give some space. Okay, we'll do it later on. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So yeah, so we have achieved till this. We have previous button and next button. So now let's, in some cases we also need the page numbers, right? So on which page we are right now. So for that, to handle that case, what we will do is, let's create an array here. Let's create an array here, so that will give us the page number. So let's say if we have 20 pages, so we need to display those pages from 1 to 20, right? So let's create this array, and here this array will contain the total number of pages, right? And we need the keys from this, okay, and we will destructure this array, right? So this will return, let me show you the result what we will get from here. Console.log pages, yeah, so here we are getting from 0 to 90, right? But we want the results from 1 to 20, okay? So let me add +1 here in the page number so that we can get the 20, and to remove this 0, because we do not want 0 page here. So for that, what I'll do, I will slice of the first element, right? So now I think we can have from 1 to 20, right? Now what I'll do is I'll display these values here, right? So we have let's say we will take a p tag, and let me close it, and then we will use map pages, pages dot map, and in this map we will get a page, so it will run for each and every element in the array. So here we will take this span, let me close this span first, and here we will be displaying the page, right? So whatever page we are getting here, so we will display that. So let me see, yeah, so now we can see the page numbers, right? And let me give some spacing in between them, yeah, so now it looks good, right? So now we have previous button, next button, and now we have page numbers, okay? And also do not forget to add the unique key. So right now we don't have any unique value, so we will give page number here only, right? Now what we need to do is we need to make these pages clickable, right? So whenever I click on some page, it should go to that particular page. Okay, so what I'll do here, I'll add an event listener here, which is on click. Okay, and when I click on some particular page number, what I want to do is I want to set the current page to that page number, right? So let's see if it is functional or not. So let me click on the 8th page. Yeah, so our to-dos items are changing. Let me click on 10th, 12th. Okay, so to display it a bit clearer so that you can understand it a bit better, so let me add some styling to it to see if it is really working or not. So let me add class name, and in class name let me check if current page is equals to page. Okay, so that time I'll give active class, otherwise we will not give any class, right? So we need to import the CSS. Oh, it's already imported, so we'll go to the CSS, and let's create an active class here, and in active class let me add some font weight to it. Sorry, it would be font weight, and I think we created 700, and let's create the color. So color will be, let's take yellow. Okay, so let me see if we are able to see that. No, what happened here? Semicolon expected. Where semicolon is expected? Okay, let me put semicolon here. Yeah, yellow is I think you won't be able to see it, so let me give some light color. So it's light blue, or let's say green. Yeah, now that's fine. Yeah, so now if we go on page 1, we'll see we are on page 1, page 4, page 6, page 9, and now our previous and next buttons also functional. So if I click on prev, so it will take us to 8 and 7 and 6, and if I click on next, so it will take us to 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I am on 20, and if I click on next, so it will not work because we have checked that condition, right? And for the previous also, if I click on 1 and I click on previous, so it will not go further, right? Yeah, so I think for now we are good here. I hope you have understand all the things properly, and yeah, thank you so much.